name is Kunwoo and today I'm here to teach you, all of you, to make your own personal army through Facebook. Now this army will be like a giant force of nature. Get enough people behind it and they will be unstoppable. But how will we make this army? Through propaganda. Now, propaganda as technology advances has been getting closer and closer to us in our daily lives. First, speeches through radios, commercials on televisions, and now social media. But before we go any further, we need a very clear definition of propaganda. Now, what propaganda does to us is that it exploits our very emotions so that we do a particular action, maybe go to war, aggression, or reform. And I want you to take note, and I want to put a lot of emphasis on the fact that although we associate propaganda negatively, propaganda isn't always bad, and sometimes it can be used for goodwill. So keeping that in mind, here are two factors that makes propaganda very effective in social media. First, accessibility, and second, familiarity. So first, I'll talk about accessibility. Here's an infographic of users of social media. We have 1.19 billion in Facebook, 232 million in Twitter, and so on. As you can see, this infographic is quite dated. It's from 2013. But from this, we know that there's a lot of people using social media, and because of the sheer number of people, so in social media, propaganda can do things that it cannot do outside. It can target people all around the world, and here's a group that does this really well, ISIS. If you follow recent news, or if you at least read the newspaper within the last few months, you have heard of them for sure. They stand for the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, and they were founded in 1999. They are a rebel extremist Islamic group, and they garnered a lot of attention recently. Last year, June 29th, after they declared themselves as a worldwide caliphate, which means that they're claiming authority over all Muslims in the world. Now, logically, we might think that they will only target Muslims, because after all, they are an Islamic group. However, because of through this accessibility factor, they target other people as well. Now, here are some screenshots of the video ISIS released. A very short video, around less than 2 minutes, and when you watch it, you will find it very familiar. Why? Because it's really similar to a Hollywood action film trailer. Now first, as you can see in this first screenshot, there are explosions. For the first 30 seconds or so, there are only explosions, and they're all in slow motion. Next, just have these photos in mind, and here are two other posters reported by The Guardian. Now, on the left, you see the poster referring to YOLO, and on the right, you see the poster referring to Call of Duty. was a 30-minute video released by Invisible Children Inc., a group of people who were trying to raise awareness about Joseph Kony and the Lord's Resistance Army that Kony leads. They have committed several crimes such as child slavery and child soldiers, and so on. And this video, particularly after it was released on YouTube, within weeks it reached millions and millions of views through social media. And we'll see how familiarity played a huge factor. First, celebrities with large follower bases such as Oprah Winfrey, Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian, they shared the video on Twitter. They said, share this video, we must stop Kony. Share it with your friends, your families. And of course, people who follow them will get this message, and yes, they'll do it. You can see by this number of tweets, hashtag Stop Kony, rising sharply after March 6th, which was when Oprah Winfrey had tweeted about Kony. And this isn't the only part of familiarity. The second part are friends. Our own friends plays a very large part in propaganda. Now back in 2012, when I was just looking through Facebook, and when Kony was starting to get popular, there was only one post in my newsfeed. And after a few hours, that post multiplies to 6 from 6 different users, and then by the end of the day, my whole newsfeed was just Kony videos with different captions such as "We must stop Kony," "Spread this video," "Watch this video." And this is why propaganda is so effective in social media. Now normally, if propaganda is done by strangers or they're spread by objects, for example, a stranger in the middle of the street handing you a poster saying, "Read this," or a billboard on top of a building showing the latest advertisement from Nike. But in social media, the very people who are spreading these are our very own friends. Now, since we have a greater emotional attachment with our friends, we have trust, and since propaganda relies heavily on evoking our emotions and exploiting them, propaganda in social media, but spread by our friends, it has a greater chance of manipulating us. So these are the two factors that make propaganda very effective in social media. But before I end, I have a small confession to make. Sorry, but I lied to all of you here. Now, what I aim to do through this TED Talk was not to tell you how to get a personal army, how to make one through propaganda, and make one personal army that you can use. What I aimed to do was to prevent all of you from joining one mindlessly. In the past, propaganda was something distant. It was not part of our lives. But now, televisions, billboards, advertising all over us, social media, internet, now it's part of our daily lives. Propaganda has become part of our daily lives, and it puts us closer and closer of our emotions being manipulated, exploited, us taking actions, and us joining an army. Now, sure, some propaganda may have good wills, they may have good causes, such as Kony I just mentioned before. However, it is still propaganda. You are still being manipulated. If you really want to join a good cause, if you want to be part of one, do it with your own will. Don't be manipulated. And remember, it is your own choice. So, here I give you a question. Will you think for yourself, or will you let others think for you? Thank you.